What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Heley cast. Obviously, you guys, if you checked out the episode before, that was with Trish Ranson. This episode is with my old friend, a retired, would you say retired Marine or
just
ex-military?
Just an honorable discharge.
There we go. My friend Trey Kent. He's told me, you have told me, why am I talking to the listeners? You've told me that people have already asked, why are you coming on to the podcast?
Yeah, they've seen, a couple of your political stuff and whatnot, and those are kind of big names, not here I am, just some dude in the middle of small town Oklahoma.
Well, let's get to the point. Why I had you on was a few years ago, maybe even probably 5-6 years ago. You were still in the military.
Yeah.
And you got some publicity yourself.
Yep.
With dancing at the powwow in military garb. I wanted to have you on that because I don't think anyone's ever interviewed you about that, have they?
I have read some stories that they make me laugh on what someone said about it.
I see TikToks and
dude,
that video's still circulating.
Like almost 5 million views. That's
I think
crazy. It's funny. I think I met the dude that actually videoed it, but whatever.
That's pretty insane though. Like, come to think of it, 5 million is a lot.
Yeah.
Think about this. Joe Rogan averages, if you're a Joe Rogan fan, I assume.
Right.
We're pretty similar mind-wise. Joe Rogan averages about 9 to 11 million per podcast. Right. And I'm sure he's going to break the internet once Trump comes on, which has been announced apparently, which is exciting. Really? Yes.
I did see where he was kind of on the fence of like, I don't want him to use my platform.
Right.
But I also seen Trump was on a couple other guys. I can't think of
Theo Vaughn. Yeah, he was on Theo Vaughn.
And then the one,
the Nelk Boys.
It was just like last week.
Andrew Schultz.
Yeah,
Flagrant.
The Schultz one.
Flagrant. Yeah.
All of them. He's just been a guy there. Sure, he'll get a little political on you, but he's just been a guy there, and he's made it fun. And I hope that him and Joe can be the same way, because 5.2, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
It is also crazy that's been 10 years ago.
Now, this is a different one, right?
Yeah.
Fort Hall Powwow 2024?
Yeah, yep, that was this year. I'm not sure. That's probably just a veteran dance that...
you know what? I'm probably going to get monetized for it, but the hell with it. Let's... Oh, no. Do I not have volume? Oh, I do have volume. Hold on.
I think you're muted there.
Yeah, I am muted down here.
So that's actually my dad with me.
Really?
And some of the articles that I've read about this, it's like, oh, I was asked to dance, or I was asked to do this or that. Like, sure, I was in uniform, but we were asked to just do the flag ceremony. So at the very beginning, I have pictures carrying the Eagle staff in. It was just a ceremony event.
That's so cool.
I wasn't there just to dance in my uniform. And I would say the reason that this went viral was...
It was controversial, wasn't it?
Well, I think it was the next night after this video. I had done the same thing. I did the flag again. But I was dancing. My dad asked me to dance, but it was a contest song. I didn't have a number on, and this is the part where it's controversial, was it was a contest song, and I didn't have a number on.
Gotcha.
Well, at the end of the day,
I did see your dad with the number on, yeah.
They knew why I was there, and I was dancing right next to my dad. Right. And the guy, he's like, hey, you don't have a number, you need to step back. Well, that's where it kind of drew the line. People were like, well, this guy's in uniform, why he's asking? Well, it was a contest, but is it that big of a deal?
I don't think so.
At the end of the day, is it that big of a deal?
No.
And
you got to and share something with your father.
Yeah, and for especially for all those folks that do. I mean, there's a lot of veteran powwows. The native folks like to honor their veterans.
See, I didn't know that until I saw your video, and I looked into it more and more. And powwows are very big in the veteran.
I mean, just the Pawnee Veteran Powwow, the Homecoming Veteran Powwow, they have it, July 4th weekend.
Really?
I've been honored there.
Okay.
A couple of my buddies, a couple of years ago, I mean, they're not even native, but they were like, hey, we got these guys here. They're about to leave. We want to, put a little money in their pocket or whatever, and
send them off with.
Gave them a song, and
that's awesome.
And they got to carry the flag and whatnot, and the whole tribe was behind them.
I think I remember when that video first came out, if I can remember correctly, the controversy behind it, from what I read, was you weren't in native garb, you were in Marine garb. So it was controversial for you to even dance without being in the correct garb.
So there was also that, but it's like, well, if these guys are trying to imitate, especially a straight dancer, they're head down tracking. So I'm a soldier, I'm a warrior.
Right.
I'm wearing what we wear today. That's not my fault that's modern gear.
Also, Native Americans are really huge in past and modern warfare. World War II, we had code talkers.
Yep.
And you guys, was it mainly Navajo that did it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But I don't want to, just give anyone just credit, but I mean, I know Navajo code talkers for sure. I'm sure there were other tribes that were also included. So I apologize for not knowing those tribes, but I know for sure Navajos were the main aspect. That Mel Gibson movie that I watched with Nicolas Cage and what's his name? He was an Ant-Man. He's Ant-Man's sidekick.
Not much of a movie, but I couldn't help you.
Dang it! It's not Mark Ruffalo, but it's the guy. It's the Hispanic native guy that's always in, he's in the comedian kind of movies, just kind of the side guy, but he's hilarious. I think he's a comedian.
I would know who you're talking about. But
if I pulled it up, I'm sure. Did that article take you anywhere specifically? Did it?
No.
Like I said previously, I feel like no one's really actually sat down and interviewed you about it.
When it did happen, I definitely, over probably a 2-week period, I had so many friend requests on Facebook. I had been invited to, hundreds of powwows, I would say. Hundreds. To go out and, just to come and be head man. Some people were just like, hey, come out. My family will take care of you.
That's huge.
So that was really cool to see that community come together. Because just the other day I was, it was a club Shay Shay. He was talking to someone just the other day, and he was saying something about they're mad, the black and the brown community, talking about black and Mexican folks, how can we get them to come together? And they were talking about how their community come together. Well, you can see that in native folks all the time, something small happens in the tribe, the whole tribe
comes together. Yeah. They band together usually. Yep.
And, if there's a powwow or any kind of dance or anything, if someone dies in the tribe, they'll cancel that event.
Really?
They go to extent, and
wow.
It's a very tight knit group, it seems.
Definitely.
But, if you're willing to learn it, they're there.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a different culture. Living in Oklahoma, I believe we have the most natives out of any state. Yeah. Maybe Alaska might have.
Yeah.
I know Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, they all have the Sioux, and Comanche is down in Texas. Someone asked me recently, they're like, why doesn't Texas have any Indian reservations? I was like, 2 words: Texas Rangers.
And I would probably say that Texas has such weird, they're the Lone Star, they're technically not with the United States.
Right,
they can break off. What is that? So they probably have some weird gray area there.
It's interesting because,
and even now, just in Oklahoma, at the beginning of the year, everyone was worried, oh, well, I have a tribal tag. Am I going to get pulled over for fraud evasion?
What is the deal with tribal tags?
There was an agreement with, originally it was 3 tribes. It was Cherokee, Comanche, I can't remember the names.
Okay.
And there was an agreement that they could have tags because they would be able to be read on like the turnpike reader and through the police system, this and that. Well, I guess other tribes supposedly just jumped on it and started making their own, and it's never really been enforced. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know really what the big deal is.
Now we're kind of making an issue when
I think their deal is they say, well, we want the police safe. Well, I mean, ultimately, like... I
mean, I want police safe, don't get me wrong.
If we want to get into, a politicking side and a belief side, like, that's my vehicle. Why am I even paying for a tag to drive it?
Yeah.
At this point, is our money...
Let me just say this. Taxation is theft.
Yeah.
Period.
Is our money even going to the roads?
I mean here in Oklahoma, is it? That's a true question. Every just 3 spins of your tire, you're hitting a pothole.
They're doing the bridges.
Yeah,
they did just do the one by my house, and it's been a pain in the ass the last year and a half. They just finished it maybe a month and a half ago. Finally, every day crossing that sucker one lane. But I will say it's pretty nice.
That's gotta suck.
But yeah, it's like, where is all our money actually going? Where is it going? But there's not going to tell you.
No.
So,
I mean, that's the same with like the federal government, where we kind of know where our money's going with federal money. Guys, remember that border bill was $60 billion to Ukraine, and then like $4 million to the border. It was nothing to the border. Yeah, it was honestly, it was like 1,500 extra border patrol men, 1,500 extra to spread across our whole Mexican border. Like 1,500 won't even stretch across Texas's border.
Yeah.
It's a joke, in my opinion.
Yeah. And the way I understand it, someone had been pulled over the morning that I'd seen the weird tag thing going on.
Back on the tags, yeah. My bad. I got sidetracked.
Yeah, they'd gotten pulled over and said that they were going to get a citation for tax fraud or tax evasion. I can't remember exactly how it was worded. And it's because you're not playing your license plate tag through the state of Oklahoma because it's not registered.
You're going through the tribes.
Right. Which, we get a break and this and that. Well, not everyone gets a break.
Right. Yeah, not everyone gets a break.
I mean, sure.
I mean,
I've
been outspoken about tribes as well here and there. I'll be open about that. But my point of view is, not every tribe, but a lot of the tribes have rights to casinos, and they make billions of dollars. And I don't think it's even coming as a white man, where's our profit? When I go to the Oto, Missouri tribe, up just north by Seven Clans and everything.
Yeah.
And their reservation doesn't look the best.
It's nothing.
It's I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I mean,
it's a gas station in the casino, right?
And then to the right is a neighborhood, maybe, if you want to call it that.
Yep.
And they have the Seven Clans right there. And I mean, I've stopped at Seven Clans. I've spent my white man money there. You know what I mean? Luckily, you guys, some tribes won't take 20s because of Andrew Jackson. Trail of Cheers. Certain tribes are still salty about that to this day. But luckily, Seven Clans still, takes my money no matter what. But it's where is our money going? Even your money, if you gamble, just period. Where is the gambling money going when we spend it at Seven Clans? Isn't that supposed to go back into the community of your people? But when I look over to the right, when I'm going hunting to Newkirk or wherever, nothing's changed for the last 15 years over there. It's still the same brick buildings. I
think a big thing,
and then I look
at that is you're not getting any kind of county sales tax off of any of thing that the tribes are making, because they're going to be based off federal stuff. So you get a little bit of that in there, even though they do bring in a lot of money. But if every dollar is spent, every gas station tax dollar that's at the casino,
no, you're right, yeah,
that doesn't touch the state or the county tax, probably.
Right.
I can't say for certain, I'm not.
No, you're right.
But I imagine that's probably why, like Pawnee County, our roads suck.
I was going to say roads.
There's nothing around. Cleveland's probably the biggest town, and they have the Walmart. And
oh yeah, Pawnee doesn't even have a Walmart, do they?
No, we got the old dollar store.
But Pawnee's the county seat for y'all, isn't it?
Yep.
That's so strange.
The courthouse is there and everything, but it's
so
like
strange.
Our roads are terrible, but it's like we don't have any kind of sales tax or anything.
Wow.
We got clicks.
Clicks is good though. Has it come back, or is it still kind of meh?
I don't really eat around town. I kind of just I eat in the wilderness, if you will. I'm a deer
hunt more.
I'm a deer and catfish kind of guy.
I got you.
Whatever kind of critter I can get my hands on.
I'm trying to get a hunting party together to go to Western Oklahoma for a pheasant hunt later this winter.
Hey,
sign you up?
Yes, sign me up, dude. All right. I haven't got to go pheasant hunting in a long time.
Neither have I.
And I would love to go. I got to go on a dove hunt one time this year.
I went one time this year too.
I got 13.
Damn, almost limited out. Almost. I got skunked.
Yeah, we were out there like 2 hours, and shoot, I had the first 5 birds on the ground. I went with a cousin and a couple of his buddies, and it was a good time. We sat on a stump. Game warden checked us. I mean, everything. We had the whole deal.
That's
first
awesome.
time I dealt with green jeans on a hunt.
I remember my buddy Billy and I went out. It was his first time going on public land, and I was like, I got this place. I don't take many people, but I'll take you. And there were plenty of birds in the sky. We just were horrible shots. I got me one, yep. But that same day the warden came by, and we checked our licenses. We were all good. Well, come to find out, my buddy didn't have his choke in his shotgun.
Oh, didn't have his plug.
Mm-hmm, his plug. Yeah, that's what I mean. Choke, yep. Plug, whatever you want to call it. I call it, well, I mean, I guess choke, and you need a choke and then a plug.
For your pattern.
Yeah. You're right. I apologize. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, he didn't have his plug, and I even stood up and I was like, listen, he's only put 1 in chamber, 2 in the chamber, or 2 in reserve, and the game warden's like, I mean, you boys seem like honest boys or whatnot, and he checked mine, and mine was plugged and everything, and he's like, you seem like honest boys, but I'm still gonna have to write you a ticket regardless, And I was he's like, you guys didn't need licenses either. It was a few years back, so it was the first weekend of the for hunting.
Might have just been free weekend.
Yeah, it was free weekend or something for for dove season apparently. And we were like, well, shit. So it saved us some money. And my friend Billy's like, I didn't have to buy a license. I could have just paid for this $200 ticket. Like. It was $200. It's like $211. I was like,
just for the plug, just to keep one shotgun shell.
I tried so hard with the game where I was like, listen, he really has only been shooting 3 shells out of this thing, because he did realize, like, he noticed when we got out there, he's like, we need these plugged, don't we? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I think I have a plug in the back of the truck. And we were all ready to Ponca City when he mentioned it. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. He's like, I don't have a plug. When we got to the field, it's like, fuck.
Should have just found a stick.
So I was like, you can put a rock in it, maybe, and he's like, I don't want to jam it, and get stuck in there. I was like, I mean, I'll watch you. And I did watch him the whole time, 3 shells each time, but my word isn't as good as a plug is,
Yeah. Well, they start letting one go, they have to let, this guy go, and well, if he didn't...
Who was it? Some old boys, I think it was the same day or maybe a weekend after, had like 10... They were over limit with dove.
Oh, gosh.
So the game warden had driven past us, driven past them, and went down to the boat ramp, and then was doing his rounds, and he was going to stop by us. Well, they took off right when the game warden passed them. They packed up, started coming down the road towards us. They stopped, and they're like, hey, do you want a bag of birds? And I was like, and my buddy Billy was like, yeah, we'll take them. So he took them and put them in the bed of the truck, got rid of the bag. They were all still, they weren't cleaned or anything. They were all still fucking all together. He just put them right next to his chair, like he shot them all. And come to find out later on, and just so I don't criminalize myself, this was like 9 years or 10 years, so you can't get me.
This probably ain't even accurate no more.
Right, yeah, exactly. But come to find out,
I've drank a lot since.
You're supposed to have a paper, like just a handwritten kind of a receipt that says I'm transferring this meat over to this person.
Yeah.
For legal reasons.
Right.
Which I never knew. I didn't even know that. when it comes to handing meat
so
over, it's so weird.
Yeah, it's like, what does it matter? But I kind of get it because there are the regulations for a reason. Like, sure, I could go out and shoot 30 does tomorrow if I wanted, because that's how many.
Do you still have to buy a license as a tribal member now?
Yeah, so not all tribes do that. I do.
Okay.
Now I can go on all the Iowa tribe land down by Perkins, all that. I can go. I mean, I could go any day and hunt
because
with a
that's
rifle.
Tribal land.
Yeah,
and game wardens can't be on tribal land.
Yeah,
okay.
the way I've been told is I can go there and, I could go in the middle of summer and pop a deer with a rifle or whatever.
Really?
And, they give me my carcass tag and I be on my way.
No shit. I didn't know you could do that.
Straight from the tribal PD.
Wow.
I don't know if that is 100%, but that's coming from the chair member that has to go through the tribal PD for that.
Wow. I didn't know.
I hunt all tribal land up, but it's all family land.
Right,
it's all in our name.
I just never thought about
because state legal.
White man has to hunt the seasons. Like just now, the beginning of October, bow season just opened up for white. And
it was youth weekend this weekend. I had my nephew with me.
For the white man. We have seasons. I never thought about, I guess if you're a tribe, you could technically hunt out of season as long as you prove that you're kind of living off the land, right?
Yeah,
or
that, well, I mean, if you
do you have to prove kind of a homestead type of living, or is it just?
Well, I mean, really, in the state of Oklahoma, it's kind of how it is. If you're on your own private property, if you shot a deer in your backyard and it didn't leave your backyard, then
that's different. Yeah, I get that.
It doesn't matter what time of year. They can't say anything to you. Will they give you a hard time if you go and pop a deer on the side of the road and they come back and check your freezer and you got 4 deer in there? They're going to be a little upset and wonder where them deer came from.
Definitely.
But, it's it's like transfer meat. You're not really allowed to sell the venison. So I can't make.
It has to be farm raised venison, right? Because I've seen Ralph starting to sell venison.
It has to be USDA certified.
Did you know USDA certified meat isn't even from America?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't eat none of that crap, and
you raise your own cattle.
I don't go to
shoot your own deer.
I don't go to the. I mean, I don't eat beef at all unless I'm at lunch, like at work or something. Yeah.
Do you not own land? Well, you said you have family land. Yep. Do you guys not raise cattle or anything?
No. I mean, I got a couple relatives that do, and they eat beef. They'll give me a steak or something, but I'd rather eat deer.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm an opposite. I love me beef, but it has to be like, I'm not a Texas Roadhouse or USDA type of beef guy. Like, I'll eat it if someone buys it and is generous enough to cook it for me. I'm not gonna say no to steak. That's just who I am. But I would prefer my granddad, my step granddad, I should say.
Yep.
Whatever he raises. A few years ago, probably over now, 6 years ago, he used to have a herd of longhorn cattle. He was one of 3 ranchers that actually grew purebred longhorn cattle in the state of Oklahoma. I think we're down to 2 or 1 now. And people have told me, no, there's plenty of other longhorn establishments. I'm like, no, they're mixed with something else. Just a little. These were
like Wagyu.
These were 100% purebred, and these things stretched. I think the last one that my step-grandfather had, his name was Victory. His horns were probably half the size of the studio. Like, that's how big his... And he hangs on a fence post out at the ranch now. But what I was saying is, those longhorn, he didn't butcher them much often. They were more like pets for him. Yeah. He's in his 80s now, so he's not doing... he's now doesn't have the herd anymore because he's older now. But... just to keep him going, doing things when he was in his 60s and 70s, he'd have the herd. He'd take care of them like damn near dogs. Like Victory, like I said, his horn spread was half the size of this garage or the studio. And he would come up to you like a dog and you could pet him and shit. It was ridiculous. Sadly, I think he passed in a field, didn't get to eat him or anything. But at the same time, I think he lived to be like 20-something years old. By that time, you don't really want to eat the cow anyways, but he went off and lived a great life. But like those longhorn, when he would butcher a longhorn, he'd share it with the family and everything. And oh my God.
It's different.
Dude, it's different. I've had Wagyu. It doesn't compare to this steak. Like, also, maybe my dad's a good chef too. You know, it's how it's cooked too, I believe. But it's just, Longhorn is amazing. Some people may tell you it's tougher because it's a Longhorn, but I don't know, dude. But also, I knew where the feed was coming from. It came from Homini's like feed store, and I knew what they were feeding on, and like you know that kind of stuff yourself. The antibiotics that they're taking, and you're like sure of it. And they're not necessarily having to be USDA approved, you know, like there's maybe some things that are skipped around because they're more pets. I mean, there's laws on bovine, don't get me wrong. Like there's certain things you have to have. But I'm sure there's some chemicals that he probably didn't use, like, you know, for hormones or, you know, growth, because these guys weren't like the biggest guys. Don't get me wrong. They weren't like anything like Bevo, you know, if you've seen Bevo, but like, they were Longhorns. They were good, sturdy, healthy, very tasty Longhorns, you know? And man, I tell you what, if you can raise your own beef, that is probably the best thing you can do. Yep. Do you know a guy named Dave Ramsey? He is a financial kind of guru guy.
I definitely feel like I've heard that name before.
So he talks about finances, how you can save your finances or, you know, save money. Well, just recently I listened to a podcast of his, and he said, stop saving money. Money doesn't matter, because here, do you know what the true money is? A herd of cattle. Because at the end of the day, if the economy collapses, everything goes away, our money system, everything, you can't eat your dollars. But you can eat your herd. You can breed your herd. You can keep it sufficient enough for you yourself to keep going.
I would say
and I never thought about it like that, you know.
You know, if things were to go south, is how do you keep other folks from killing all your animals?
Well, you go back to the Old West, basically.
I mean, but it's crazy to think about what could happen over these next handful of years with, you know, the border is running rampant. You know, I myself.
Well, the border is now technically closed with only about 2 million per day are coming over. Only 2 million per day, but we're not counting the ones that were flying in.
Yeah,
you know, no one's talking about the flying part.
And this whole, some people have to have a voter ID, or you can't have this.
Was it Virginia that just got stopped by the Department of Justice? Is suing Virginia because Virginia is going through their voter identification list. And I guess new migrants came in and registered, and they're like, no, you can't be on here. So the DOJ, Department of Justice, is now suing them for taking them off.
Yeah,
like, what?
They're not citizens. Why do they get a say?
This doesn't make sense.
Be here. I'm all for, like, this country outside of, like, this, you know, you have the genocide of the Native American folk. You know, and you just have Christopher Columbus Day, Native American, you know, Indigenous Peoples Day, whatever you want to call it.
See,
but then the other side of it is this country is made on immigration too, because
but immigration. My point on immigration is
forced immigration. Half the country is forced immigration because you think of slavery, who was brought over here. I mean, because I guarantee you, not everyone over there, they were like, hey, you're the weakest of us. They're taking you. Get out of here.
You also have to, man, it's just a whole clusterfuck of clusterfucks, because even from Africa, tribes were selling tribes, you know, so it wasn't just like.
Even now, the biggest problem, you know, especially with being able to see other countries, we have too much freedom and too much privilege.
Yeah.
Everyone has a say. Some people were told, oh, well, you should, being quiet's taking the high road. Well, sometimes being quiet's not. Being quiet's laying down and taking your ass whooping when you shouldn't be, when you should be standing up and giving someone a knuckle sandwich.
I mean, look at Trump. Trump doesn't lay down, period. I mean, he goes on every...
The man got shot at and he stood up in a screaming fight. Sure, it could be a little bit of shock, and all the people, I mean, the people were panicking, and he was up like, we're here.
Well, if you listen to the video of him, he's like, no, wait, my shoes. He wanted to grab his fucking shoes before leaving the stage. And then he was like, no, let me just stay. I'm fine. come to find out, I didn't know the ear is one of the bloodiest parts of the body.
No kidding. Is that why?
That's what Trump said. Seriously, he was on with Theo Vaughn. He's like, come to find out, the ear is the bloodiest parts of the body. I was like, holy shit, dude. That's crazy.
It is just a little bit of cartilage. And, you think about it, I myself have had good old cauliflower ear before.
You wrestled, didn't you?
Yeah. And, took some good ass whoopings from mom. But,
Sounds about right.
Even, and then he almost gets assassinated a second time, and it was almost like it didn't even happen.
No one's reporting on his assassinations, period. Like, even the first assassination was, 3 days of media, done.
Yeah.
Move on.
Things are strange, and, back, like I was saying,
I feel like we're living 63 again.
I wanted to, I've really been studying on how to preserve things, and I'm not the only one. I've got a couple of buddies who they've been teaching themselves how to tan hides and things like that, because it's like,
I've got fur traps. You see them right behind you, right there. I'm getting ready for something to pop off, and I mean, I've learned to cook raccoon.
Bobcat's pretty all right.
Bobcat's good. Tastes like pork.
I want to try a coon and a beaver this year.
Coon is terrible.
Really?
I'll tell you that. But also, I didn't cook it like probably how you're supposed to. What I did was I cleaned it up, field dressed it, stuck it on a skewer, and just because it was more of a survival. I wanted to do a survival thing. Well, like I wanted to if shit does hit the fan, what if we don't have gas? What if we literally we have to cook it over an open fire like this? I take it to extremes sometimes, and now that I have a GoPro, I have more cameras and stuff. I'm gonna start doing that with my YouTube channel that I'm starting called Northern Oklahoma Wild.
Okay. And
it's about hunting and kind of survival, kind of a mix of Bear Grylls, but I'm not sure if I'm going to jump in cold water and freeze my balls off. But, like...
Hey, when you want to go noodling and all that, hey...
Camping in, snow or, at least doing that kind of stuff. And, obviously, that pheasant hunt I just mentioned, I'd load up my camera gear as well and have a few buddies record us and... all the good stuff. And then YouTube doesn't allow you to do the cleaning and all that. So Patreon.
I just don't even that, where is the freedom of speech? Where is all that? You think about, there was a guy
PETA got to them, man.
A month or so ago. He was asking old Dana White, UFC president, asking him, he said, you keep a short or a long leash on. He's like, a leash? I don't have a leash.
Mm-mm.
You don't control people's thoughts or what they say. It's free speech. This is America, Jack.
Like Izzy going with the N-word so many times.
I mean, yeah, I do feel like that part was a race baiting kind of thing. And
even it's Izzy. I mean, he was in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and he was, also boozed up, but he was trying to get another African guy who was white to say the word. And it's like, come on, dude. Just go out there and whoop his ass. I'm here for the violence. I don't give a shit about that.
While we're on UFC, you think Conor comes back? Or is he done? My opinion, I think Conor's done.
I think he's done. And I just think he just raises the bar for everything so much that no one can stop talking about him.
Right.
And, the other side of it is all the videos you see of him putting, there's no telling. Nobody even knows what he's actually doing.
He lost to Poirier, yeah. That was when he broke his leg. Yeah, Poirier.
Yep.
Oh, God.
That's been a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Who was the Russian was still fighting? What was his name? Khabib.
Yep, Khabib was fighting.
Yep. He was still fighting, and he went undefeated, didn't he?
Yep.
And finished because his father died recently after.
Yeah, he made some obligation to his mom.
Yep.
It's crazy, and even that.
Well, his dad was his trainer too, wasn't he?
Yep.
His ring guy and everything.
Yep. Yeah, he passed. He had COVID, and then I think he had a run-in with the pneumonia afterwards, and
that's rough.
Kind of took his toll or something. I can't remember.
Have you ever seen where he's from? Like his town is not
Dagestan.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's even like you think about.
It's crazy where these guys come from.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard Dakota Myers' story?
No.
Oh man, you should listen to him on either Jocko or Joe Rogan's
I keep
podcast.
Forgetting about Jocko.
Dude, love Jocko.
Dude, I'm on JRE constantly. So I know JRE, and some of those UFC podcasts he has is just too much because I don't understand UFC. Like I'm more of a football, baseball, basketball. Everything Joe's not about,
Yeah.
So like when Shane Gillis is on, I'm like, talk about Notre Dame football, dude. Talk about it. Just talk about how shitty they are, I love Shane. Shane is probably the greatest comedian of all time right now as we speak. Like his Trump impersonation.
Dude, it kills me. Yep.
Do you watch Kill Tony?
I do.
Yes.
Yep.
I love how he came on stage the first time at the mothership. It's like, President Trump. So, do you know how the show works? Of course I do, Tony. Just
just perfect.
They're both gay. You can't be goth and Australian.
Yeah.
You sound weird, dude.
It's been great.
It's one of the best comedians out there.
Yeah.
Like
that show has.
Have you seen Dan Soder?
I don't think so. Maybe.
I love Dan Soder. That it's worth pulling up. You know what I should have done? I should have looked up how to screen record these. Oh well.
I do like the girl that's in the wheelchair. She has like a muscle disorder or something.
I know who you're talking. Yeah.
Her name, but she is freaking hilarious.
Katie, isn't it, or something like that?
Maybe. But she's been on Kill Tony a couple times, and man, she's cracked me up.
Let's see if I can find this. My alarm going off.
It's a shame because I was trying to get Cat Williams on this episode. I wonder what Cat Williams would have said about your performance here tonight.
Can't even do a full minute. The man, they got him working the door. Baby can't even do a damn full minute. It's a shame. Get away from me, white bitch.
Dang, just the drink girl gets
Dude.
you out of that.
Because I was trying to get Cat Williams.
Hold on. Oh God. Why is it not working? Come on. Trump. Tony. See if I can find it real quick. This is it.
Hey, Heidi, everybody.
Oh, hey. What a great lady. I talked to her backstage, and
Dude, it's
wonderful
spot
woman.
on.
The tits are real. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
A lot of people are saying her tits are fake. They're not fake. I touched them, and great tits, wonderful tits, American tits, and that's the thing that we've lost under this administration. Where are the American tits anymore? 4 years ago, there were American tits. Now there's no American tits. Mexican tits. Mexican tits are streaming up the border, and no one's stopping it.
Oh, man.
Fentanyl tits. Fentanyl.
He loses it.
One shock and you're dead. Can you believe this? This would never... Unimaginable what's happened to this country. We're fine. Hey.
There's the
We're fine. Hey.
That's hilarious.
You want to know something
as
wild?
it is.
My family, the Gillis family, owned mushroom
Unimaginable as
farms.
this
So we were
country
mushroom
is.
farmers in Delaware.
Oh my God. That's a lie right there.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I can listen to Shane talk about being mushroom farmers. God.
Dude, I tell you, getting into mushrooms is one thing that I am interested in. Not as in like I just want
Not the psilocybin ones.
I do want to hit some psilocybin. I do want.
What are the mushrooms that everyone talks about? Is it during the spring when they all come out, or is it the fall? Like, there's a season for these like weird looking mushrooms that everyone posts on on Facebook. Is it morel?
Kind of look like a sponge.
Yes.
Yep.
What's the deal with that? Okay.
They're just I imagine for us it's probably just it's a local fungi that grows.
Can that go on pizza still, or like what is the
everyone
dish?
that I know that they love just slicing them in half with a little bit of flour and frying them on the skillet.
Really?
Yep.
So just fried
I'm
mushrooms.
Sure, yep. They love just frying. Everyone I talk to, that's how they love to eat them. Now I'm sure you can smother them on a steak,
Right?
or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Now, what is the mushrooms that are at the grocery store? Portobello mushrooms or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually
Okay.
those big white ones. Yeah.
With the big head and the small stem, yeah.
Yep. See, like
Now those are farm grown, and then the
Me and my
ones
sister actually just found some chicken of the woods the other day.
chicken of the woods.
Yep. They're called chicken and hen of the woods. And I actually found a pretty good, I don't know, about a pound or so worth. Yeah, there you go.
Let's look this up. Oh,
They're kind of, it's almost like a piece of chicken fried steak.
really?
Yeah, you can just slice it into strips and whatnot. I've also had
Excuse me.
our wild.
It kind of does look like a little chickeny.
Yeah, and I mean the orange.
So you just
color,
fry
Yeah,
it?
you can just
fry it?
slice them. Yeah, you can just slice them and fry them. Yeah.
Wow.
Mine was growing on I presume it was an old oak stump.
And do you obviously, like, so when you collect it from this, you obviously are gonna wash it before you fry it, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
wash the dirt off and
I asked dumb questions because
Well-
I don't know necessarily anything about mushrooms really. Like I
Well-
know you can eat the portobello mushrooms basically raw if you want to, like whatever. Can you basically eat these right off that?
I'm pretty sure.
Really? And not
I
be
know some
sick?
people say, put them in white vinegar or whatever just to kill the bacteria, bugs that's
Makes
on them.
sense.
But
That
you
makes
you
sense.
cook them. I mean, are bugs that bad for you? No, they eat them in other
I
countries.
mean, if you
It's
look
just
at our ancestors, how did our
culturalistically-
ancestors survive so long?
Yeah,
you know, it's
culturalistically, it's like
our ancestors weren't bitches.
like I've ate horse in Japan. Like,
oh yeah,
it's a little grainy. It's not bad flavor. Like, what the heck is the deal? But
I mean, I'm sure.
not here, man.
I'm
You talk
sure,
to some old
hey.
cowboy, by God, don't touch his horse now.
Oh no. You talk to, man. People don't understand that there are so many different types of cowboys.
It's like dogs too.
Mhm.
Eating dog. Everyone's seen the Venezuelans and stuff eating dogs on
They're
the
eating
TV
the cats. They're
Well,
eating
guess
the
what?
dogs.
Hey, well, I'm just saying I ate bobcat.
Bobcat.
Hey,
What do you compare it to? Because my opinion, it's like pork. I had a backstrap.
I mean, yeah,
It's a little tough.
yeah.
It reminds me
is-
of pork.
It is pretty tough. But yeah, it does have a pork flavor. The texture is a little weird.
The texture leans towards pork, but it's also on its own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's
it's-
yeah, it is. It's on its own. I tried a common snapper turtle this year. I cleaned it out.
How was that?
Pretty good.
Soup?
No, I did like a beef broth, chicken broth thing. I
Okay.
can't remember what I used exactly with just some spices.
Because I know turtles are usually in like a soup or a stew or something.
I
Okay.
just simmered it, and then I basically did like squirrel gravy with it. Only did turtle gravy.
Ooh.
It was really good.
So you just use the fat of the turtle to make the gravy?
Just a little bit of that broth. Yep.
Ooh.
Made a little bit of gravy with
some
it.
flour.
Threw it on some biscuits. Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, son, that
Yeah,
sounds good.
It was pretty good. I think I had
See, now you're
at
gonna
least 4 or 5 different colors of meat that
now
I
you're
could
gonna get
tell.
random texts from me like during springtime, like you going mushroom hunting?
Dude, yeah, I mean, we do. When we start looking for sheds and stuff,
Oh, that's
I'm
right,
not much
shed.
of a mushroom person. I'll collect a handful, but I don't get super crazy over them.
Man, I
you can have like turkey tail around here, oyster mushrooms.
I know oyster. I've heard of oyster mushrooms.
Oysters are really good.
Really?
I had a buddy drop off like 2 pounds of oyster mushrooms. Oh, it's probably like June, maybe July. It was delicious. We actually found some up in Colorado when we were on our elk hunt a couple years ago.
How'd that go? The elk hunt?
Most of half our crew got altitude sickness, so we had to shut it down early. It was kind of a bad deal.
You gotta
It was
train.
great.
You gotta train for those things for sure. It's not easy because like people think when you go whitetail hunting here, it's not that difficult. You can get a stand, you sit there, you wait for them.
Yeah.
Elk hunting, you're stalking.
I think I just had so much, specifically the weight carrying up the mountain. Marine Corps was like, I was like, fuck, here we go. We're in day 2 and we're like 7 or 8 miles in and we've climbed like 8,000 feet of elevation,
Yeah.
At the last night we stayed, our camp was at like 11.2 and we broke 12,000. We were up, but the elk were up there.
Yeah.
We were up near sheep country and
God damn.
they were getting sick at like 8,000.
Jeez.
So it was getting bad. And my brother has a a blood disease. He was diagnosed with aplastic anemia, back in high school, a handful of years ago.
That can't be healthy.
And I don't know if he's fully in remission. It's kind of a weird deal. He has problems with it. It's monitored, but, at least he's off his medication and stuff. Yeah. But, it made him real sick, and I think that partially had something to do with it because he got really sick for a while after we came down. Even when we were back home, he said he felt like he had lingering effects, and I think that was probably just he doesn't have the blood count that we do.
It's the oxygen too, to my understanding. So when you go to higher altitudes, you're not getting the oxygen that you actually need to breathe and everything. So if he has a blood condition, then that definitely would affect him. I mean, hell, I hear when you if you go to Colorado to smoke weed, you have to acclimate yourself to it before even smoking because you could possibly not get high off of it because
really? I wonder if that's because we did we smoked a J while the day we came down and we were leaving. We'd stopped for a meal in Glenwood Springs, and we were about to head back, and we smoked a J, and this girl was like, me and this old man, it took us forever. It took us a whole day to get this joint down, and we're in the alleyway just chiefing on it, and we're like, what is this? What did I pay for? So I didn't know that. So, I mean, that could be true.
I think the altitude changes.
I know down here we ate, there's some good stuff around here.
It's decent. But once you get to
like alfalfa and ditchweed.
Once you get to recreational states that are pushing recreational weed, it's definitely a different game because half of it's fucking unregulated.
There's so it's a fucking plant,
dude.
It's just,
make it federal.
Dare to just you want to dare to be different. Dare to just let us just do it. Leave people alone. Yeah.
Austin, Texas, I believe, is the only city in Texas that has dispensaries in it. They have medical marijuana dispensaries in it. Can I hit that? Thank you. I just ran out on my way back. What is this? This is one of those clouds. Dime. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yep.
Those are great brands.
Yep. That's one of my favorite. It's definitely a little different these days with between what they're trying to do with psilocybin mushrooms and stuff. I really want to get into that part of it.
Were you active, by the way?
No, I was only on the reserve side.
Okay, I was gonna say I know they were doing a lot of experiments. Sorry for cutting you off, but with psilocybin mushrooms for active duty veterans.
Really?
To help them with their PTSD, because
and probably getting good results.
They were actually. I know Colorado was doing the study because Colorado has. You can get a medical card for mushrooms as long as you're a veteran.
Yeah.
Going through the VA or what you get a subscription or your card from your VA doctor. I don't know. I don't live in Colorado, but to my understanding, they've legalized it to an extent because it showed positive. I think Oregon's right behind them. While we're talking about drugs, have you heard Seattle, Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, 4 major cities, all in liberal states, have all legalized to an extent of heroin. They have these heroin centers. It's basically like a walk-in clinic, like what we have right down the road from here. You can walk in, and if you're a drug addict or a heroin addict, they will give you the correct amount of heroin, and they'll give you a room or an area so you can be safe instead of under underpass, because they've accepted that you're going to do it, right? So why not administer it in a safe environment with doctors?
That's nuts.
Right. Plus, you get a safe environment.
I found where our tax dollars are.
Mm-hmm. But here's the even crazier thing. You and I, we could go in though and try it for the first time. See? We don't even have to be addicts. You and I could just literally go in there and be like, what is this place? And they're like, oh, it's a heroin clinic. We'd be like, what's that? And it's like, well, we administer, the correct amount of heroin to you, and you can enjoy your high here in this safe environment without sharing needles and getting, different crazy. STDs and everything. And then when I first heard it, I was like, that's a great idea because it slows down, the needle sharing. It slows down the whole needles being on the street.
Right.
I'm thinking this is a great idea. And then I heard it's open to all ages. There's no age restriction.
Oh boy.
So and they have daycares. Some of these centers have daycare. So if a heroin addict took their kid there. They have a free daycare center for that heroin addict to drop their kid off there while their kid doesn't.
Responsible about it.
It is wild, dude. Like I thought they were going in a good path. Maybe it would help.
It's crazy to think that some of these places that do that are so like, oh, let me be free, but don't call me that. Like, it's so on the fence about what you're doing. Like, you can't get it right ever. No matter where you go,
to my understanding,
you're going to be politically incorrect to somebody. You're going to piss somebody off because you've said something wrong.
Right.
I mean,
to my understanding, the one in Seattle is supposedly private, but it gets public funding still. And I'm pretty sure all of the other clinics are private, but still get state or federal funding.
That's nuts. Yeah. I don't know if I could get behind something, the psilocybin where they have, where there's studies that have shown that it helps the brain.
Exactly. There's no studies that show heroin helps.
What is heroin doing? What is meth doing?
Cocaine, there was actually a benefit to it. It was kind of like a nicotine. It stimulated your brain. It helped you actually go. To an extent. I'm not saying cocaine should be legalized. Like, maybe it should. Because of the fentanyl crisis, obviously. I don't necessarily think drugs should be legal.
What is that?
But
what is that?
We're missing so... Here's the thing. We are $34 trillion in debt as a nation. Do you know how quickly we could do that if we legalized drugs and actually securely made sure these drugs were safe? Because we're having so many drug overdoses now. Like, look at Philadelphia. Fentanyl is rampant.
Yeah.
L.A., rampant. Everywhere you go to a major city, you're going to find fentanyl, and it's disgusting. I'm not saying that I like the idea, but if the United States could be a producer of cocaine, narcotics, and it's a safe, pure and safe, why not tax it, make money? People are going to do it. Exactly.
They're going to do it anyways.
That's why the cartel has been so successful.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what. The 80s, they were rolling in cash with cocaine.
Well, I imagine it also has to do with, like, whoever's actually running this shit show.
Yes, but my idea is, I think I heard it from Joe Rogan, is how many people would actually do it if it became legal? Because think about it. Since I got a medical card, I haven't, I smoke weed on a reg, but it's not, I enjoy it, but it's not,
It definitely ain't what they chopped it up to be when we was in school.
Yeah.
This whole, it's a gateway.
Right.
It ain't made me want to do nothing. It's a gateway to
the fridge.
To the fridge, the junk food.
Yes.
And to the couch.
Yes.
In my case, it is the gateway to me just sitting in my tree stand all day long.
God.
Because
and just be quiet.
Yeah. I just sit there. I hang out. I don't have to be on my phone. I can sit there and watch the birds. And
absolutely.
That's how I want to be anyways. I don't enjoy going to work every day. I only work 4 days a week.
Where are you working now, if you don't mind me asking?
I work for a refrigeration company out of Oklahoma City. He's a small company. We're
because I know you were
6 dudes.
When you were in Jamestown, you were Marines, weren't you? You were still in the military.
Then, I was probably either doing
part-time hookah security.
Yeah, fake security, top flight security of the world, Craig.
God, I miss that place so much. It was such a degenerate place.
Yeah, we had some good times in there.
Cam and just other guy. God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about James.
Yeah,
James
was. I think he's down in Tulsa. Last I knew.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's still down there.
I think he moved up to Tulsa too.
Murat and Ashley are up in New York.
Did something with who?
Murat.
Murat
and Ashley.
is really?
Yep, they're up in New York.
Really?
Still. Yep.
Okay. They get married finally?
I don't know if they're married. I don't know if they're actually going to get married. They may not be that
kind of partner.
Yeah, but
I got you.
But they've been together since they've left, and I mean, shit, that's been since 2014, 2015.
2012 is when they met, wasn't it? Or 2013, somewhere around there.
I was going to the lounge like that 2013.
I started going around 2012, 2013.
Because I was in boot camp most of 12.
And I think I can say this because they're no longer in business. I wasn't of age back then.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't real security, so it's
yeah,
not like
it doesn't.
I didn't give you the hookah. So.
Who was?
I wasn't of age when I started.
Who was Big Black?
Oh, Rodney.
Rodney.
Yep.
What is
I
he
don't
up
know.
to?
He just it hasn't been too. It's been a few months now. He's been on the transplant list. And I can't remember if he was about to get one or what with his kidney.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a medical mishap. I don't want to speak on, I
No,
don't
I
know
get it, yeah.
anything, but he got pretty sick there for a little bit, and it was kind of touch and go.
I hope he's okay.
I'm not super close with him these days.
Right, yeah. You guys were roommates at one point, weren't you?
Kind of, yeah.
Over
I was bouncing
on the
around
west
houses.
side of town or
I was
something?
pretty much homeless for a little while, man.
Were you?
Yeah, now in my older age, I've kind of noticed, because I remember a couple of job interviews. They were like, "Where do you stay at?" And I was like, "Well, sometimes I stay at this friend's house," or and then I told one lady, she's like, "Well, what happens this?" I was like, "Oh, just crash in my car, I'll be all right." And she's like, and I remembered seeing that, as I got older, and I was like, man, like I was living it rough back then, but
because I remember over on the west side there was kind of a party house by the Spears.
Yep, that was old Caldwell's house.
That's right,
with Hunter
Caldwell. I forgot.
Yeah,
God,
him and Hunter and T-Roll lived together.
Dude, it's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yep, I've seen Caitlin since then. I went to New Mexico and spent a weekend with her.
How are they doing?
It's been a couple of years. They live in Lawton now, or they did last time. I think they're still in the Lawton area.
Because I know they moved back to New Mexico for a while, and
I think
kind
they
of
all
lost track of them.
I think they all live in Lawton now. I think it has something to do with her stepdad. He's military.
Okay.
He's like a sergeant major or something.
Okay. Wow.
Or first sergeant. I can't recall. But he's way up there. Because I do remember when I was talking to her when I was still in Japan. Or maybe about to come home, and he was actually about to go somewhere.
Wow.
So he was actually about to go on a deployment.
Damn.
In fact, my brother just left Friday morning to start his workup. And another one of our
This isn't the one with the blood condition?
No,
okay.
No, this is...
I was about to say, I'm like, I don't know if you can join the military with a blood condition.
No, this is another... He's kind of my adopted family. Yeah. He was my platoon sergeant when I was in...
We were talking before the show, you have a lot of adoptive family. Yeah.
A lot of the people I claim as my family are not blood related.
Well, that's a common thing when you're in the military. Like your boys that, even if you're not even active, I'm not trying to take anything away from you, were military, period. Regardless, like
it's a little different when you're.
But you get in a platoon or your company. What is it? A company or a platoon?
Yeah, I mean both.
Is that are they the same thing? Platoon and company? Are they?
No, well, they're not the same thing. But you belong to a company and you're in a platoon.
What is a company is just kind of a larger thing, and then you go to a platoon.
You'd think of a company as like Pawnee, and my platoon would be my house, if you will, or even my neighborhood. Got you. If you want to put it that way,
or if you want to put it in sport terms, which a lot of my listeners I feel like is sport fans. Take it as like first team offense, second team offense, third team offense kind of stuff. You have a football team, and then you have the individual starters and all that kind of stuff. I get it. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought of it.
Yep, they're it's just they call it forward deployed. Essentially you could call it a 911 call. They're going to be going through the training that essentially is like you're going to as if you were going to war.
Gotcha.
And you have to complete this training, and if you fail any of them, you have to go redo them, or you don't get to go. There's several little rules about it, and yada yada.
Where's everyone getting sent nowadays? Do you know at all with any of your brothers in active duty or anything?
I'm gonna tell you right now, just because I heard it. Kamala saying we don't have anyone deployed here and there.
That's a goddamn lie.
Dude, I have a buddy who's in Iraq right now.
I'm well aware we have soldiers in the Middle East currently right now. Like
they're fucking chopping ISIS, bro. They're slaying bodies. What are you fucking talking about, you dumb lady?
TikTok of her saying that, and then like, TikTok. Oh really? Yeah. Okay, let me show you the video then. It's probably on YouTube, if anything. It's fucking hilarious, dude.
But it's like you think about my brother and them. They're getting, forward deployed. They're going to Japan because there's a boat there, or it's halfway to wherever. It's closer than America is.
Let me see if I can find it.
It makes no sense that she's over here saying that nobody's deployed right now, or no. Red Fridays. Remember everyone deployed, dude.
I'm trying to find. It's a short, like one of these short clips here.
Yeah. There's no telling.
And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world.
Oh, sure. Not a war. Yeah.
But let's understand.
So where the f are we right now?
Yeah. Literally. Where the fuck are we right now?
That's crazy. Like,
but yeah, sure. I mean, we're not in a wartime.
Sure.
We're not in war.
Right.
So yeah, they're not in a war zone. But what the fuck is a war zone? You know, just even, generation kill,
My thought process is if there's guns clapping, that's a war zone.
Yeah, the lieutenant was.
I think Chicago is a war zone, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Certain cities in the United States are war zones right now.
Well, they have full-on machine guns going off in the middle of town. That's why.
Some have almost military capabilities. Like Idaho, for sure, with their militia, have military. They're not clapping back right now, but wait till shit hits the fan. I'm sure they're going to be one of the first.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though, is like a lot of small town folk, they'll be like, oh, well, we have all the guns and this and that and military guys. Well, the other side's got military guys too. There's a lot of guys that don't think. I've got buddies who think that we shouldn't have guns.
Oh,
and it's like, you're in the military, bud. Yeah, how can you?
That's interesting.
Believe it, and maybe they're just scared of it. But if you were to learn to use any weapon as a tool, as it's made to go, you're not sitting there looking at it as this mass murdering machine that they've created it to be. It's a tool that you need.
Who do you think
for specific things?
Sorry for interrupting.
Just like anything else.
No, 100% agree with you. Yes, absolutely. I think, the Second Amendment is for us.
The Second Amendment is the only amendment
that matters, because without the Second Amendment, the First Amendment wouldn't matter.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to say shit.
Mm-hmm. Talking about military and everything, who do you think has the greatest military so far? I mean, we've gone to DE&I and the they, them, that kind of stuff.
Things are changing so much. I think everything now is going to depend on who has the best technology, because a lot of, there's a lot of drone attacks. You look at Ukraine war, Ukraine and Russia, and you can see drones on both sides of videos of either the drone blowing guys up or guys videoing themselves and seeing a grenade drop, and you can hear the drone. So they're not going to do that. You can't beat that. You think about IEDs, what they dealt with in OIF, OEF. Some of those guys started getting smart, and they figured out how to beat the dog or beat the metal detector. It's because they were smart. Yeah. And they figured out how to beat the system. Them drones, they're beating the damn system right now. So how do you beat
Twitter,
the drones?
I saw a picture of this guy.
You going to rely on an EMP the whole time?
No, yeah.
So
speaking of drones, you're right. Listen to this. I think Shane's you and Shane are onto something.
From the military, and when he retired, he posted a picture of himself, full military uniform, all of his medals, but he was wearing a furry mask, like a dog mask. And he posted, he said, now that I'm retiring from the military, I can come out and say, I've been into pup play this entire time. And he tweeted, he said, Officer Bow Wow out.
Oh, man.
It said, like, hashtag service dog. It was rough. For real, that was an accident. But he tweeted it. So, of course, Russia and China's Twitter, they got a hold of it. They started talking shit. They were like, look at our military. It was a bunch of, like, jacked, skinhead dudes. They're like, look at America's military. It was, like, transgender people, the dog general. On Twitter, and I saw Russia and China's Twitter, they got a hold of it. They started talking shit. They were like, look at our military. It was a bunch of, like, jacked, skinhead dudes. They're like, look at America's military. It was, like, transgender people, the dog general. And they were making fun of us. They were making memes. They were like, look how tough and masculine our army is. Look how weak and gay America is. But I was looking at the pictures and I was like, Dog General's the scariest soldier I've ever imagined in my, dude, just some sexual freak operating drones that thinks he's a fucking dog, just
tear up the yard, boys. Get some.
Deleting villages.
Yeah. It's so nuts. I think at that point, yeah, you know.
That whole bit, he does ask the crowd, he's like, what's the scariest army alive? Someone's like, Nazis. He's like, gay Nazis? Gay Nazis. If they couldn't dress any sharper. He's like, gay Vikings. Could you imagine you're living in your village?
The kilts they would have.
You see the Viking ships coming and you're like, oh no, they're here to rape our wives and daughters. And then they row up the rainbow flag and you're like, oh, fuck.
We're here for the men.
That's where that whole thing.
Okay.
That's his whole spiel. And then, dude, you don't watch a lot of TV,
No,
obviously.
Not really.
I would suggest going and checking out Shane's new special, Beautiful Dogs.
Okay.
I'm going to play you one more bit before we wrap up here because it is getting a little late here. But I want you to check out because we're both kind of Trump fans. I want you to watch.
Trump gave what I think was probably one of the greatest speeches of world leaders given. You know, it's got to be up there with like Churchill, Gettysburg Address. It's the night the United States killed the leader of ISIS. Trump comes out of the Situation Room at like midnight in the White House and he walks down that fucking tunnel like and gives a press conference like he's giving a post-game NBA and just goes, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. He died like a dog. And
Hell yeah.
I had to change one word of that. That's what he opened with. And then he did 40 minutes. The speech is 40 minutes. The meanest shit talk you've ever heard in front of the whole world. Abu. We could hear him crying. I said, Abu, don't cry. Let me tell you something. Abu cried. He cried quite a bit. I wouldn't have cried.
Oh, man.
Crybaby Baghdadi. That's what we were all calling it.
Fucking great. I love
Shane's great, dude.
Shane.
Hello.
Oh, God.
I'm Bob Isis of Isis Toyota.
Well, might as well watch this. I don't care. I'm already getting monetized. I don't give a shit.
One thing I want to make very clear, and it's that we have nothing to do with the terrorists over there in the Middle East right now. And that's why we are the good ISIS.
The good ISIS.
All right, listen. You gotta lean into the ISIS thing. It's a good marketing tool.
It's a great marketing tool. I agree with Barbie. I think you should be like, here at ISIS Toyota, we'll behead the competition.
Yes.
No, we're not doing this. What are you guys talking about? We're not wishing death to any of our enemies. We are wishing death to high prices.
Me and Barbie, we can hold AK-47s.
Yeah.
No.
That would be so cool. So I'm holding an AK-47, she's holding an AK-47. You're like, we got the best Toyotas, and I can be doing that like terrorist turkey gobble.
Dude,
thing.
when you think about
You know
it,
what I mean?
that's
We're like,
American as fuck.
At
Why
ISIS
not?
Toyota, we have nothing to do with Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi and his vicious gang of thugs. All we're trying to do is put you into an affordable, pre-owned, certified Toyota.
People don't respect you.
To the youngsters, I know you're having fun. I used to have fun myself, but there's something you need to know. Stuff like that,
Terrorist.
that's a load of crap. That's a load of crap.
Can I be in a commercial?
No.
Come on, why not?
Why?
It's because I'm black?
No, it's not. It's because your name is...
Orenthal James Anderson. And at ISIS, we don't price gouge. But if we find a competitor with a lower price,
OJ.
we'll kill them.
Cut that. We're not doing this.
You don't love OJ? What are you saying, he did it?
Dang it.
No.
Oh, man.
All I'm trying to do is get you into a Toyota.
We made this.
Jesus Christ, put this away. Put this away.
We're in the commercial.
Look at it.
Wear this in the commercial.
Just a bunch of flares.
Why not? I wore it on the bus here, dude.
I wore it on the bus here,
This on
dude.
the bus?
Yes, I had to bring it here.
That's dedication.
Do you know
That's
how hard that
dedication.
is to get off? It costs more than the damn car.
Like, you're blowing it here. Like, you're
think
really...
I'm blowing?
Yes.
Would you quit it? Quit it. I'm losing money on half these things. Because you and your punk-ass kids come down and fuck with our shit.
You want an AK-47?
Stop fucking with our Toyotas. Come down and buy them like a man.
Head of ISIS issues
There you
thread.
I'm
I'm under a lot of fucking stress.
I'll go fucking nuts. We are closed on 9/11.
If your dad was real ISIS, you'd be up in heaven right now, covered in virgins. Yeah. But instead, you're a fat fucking virgin covered in used Toyotas.
Yeah, that's what I
okay? So
Covered in used Toyotas.
Come down to ISIS Toyota or I'll fucking kill myself.
Toyota been supporting all the wars, buddy.
This should be the whole thing.
I miss the speeches with Trump.
Yes,
you
this
remember
is the whole
that?
thing.
We used to get 5 speeches a day.
This is the last thing, guys, and we're out of here.
That guy was giving another fucking speech. Live, dude. Be in front of a helicopter, screaming, calling a lady a lesbian or something. This is going to be a tough one to defend at work. But I'm gonna.
He knows America so well.
Now it's sad. Now with Biden, we get like one speech every 3 months. And it's hard. He's like falls and shit. It's hard to watch. It's sad. I'm rooting for the guy. Obviously, I want things to go well. But it's hard to watch him do anything. Anytime I watch Biden do anything, I get the same feeling as like, you ever go to a friend's house and they have like a 16-year-old dog and it walks in the room? And you gotta do that whole like, oh, hey, there he is.
Yeah.
Just look at him. He's looking great. My favorite thing about Biden is anytime Biden finishes a speech, he transforms into a Roomba.
Dude, his stand-up is just amazing.
I miss it. I miss the Trump speeches. Trump gave what I think was probably one of the greatest speeches a world leader's given. You know, it's got to be up there with like Churchill.
Gettysburg
Address.
I love that face.
Anyway, for real though, it was my favorite speech I've ever seen a president give. It was the night the United States killed the leader of ISIS. Trump comes out of the Situation Room at like midnight in the White House, and he walks
I think
down
the
that
real
fucking
question
tunnel
is when are you going on
He gives
Kill
a press
Tony?
conference like he's giving a post-game NBA.
Because he is coming to Oklahoma, right?
Press conference.
I think
I
think there's a show in Oklahoma. You gotta put your name on the card, man.
Bakar, al-Baghdadi is dead. He died like a dog.
God. Didn't change a word of that. All him.
That's all him, dude. I didn't change one word of that. That's what he opened with. And then he did 40 minutes. The speech is 40 minutes for no reason. It wasn't a prepared speech. He freestyled 40 straight. Not even a speech, just mean shit talk for 40. The meanest shit talk you've ever heard in front of the whole world. Abu. We could hear him crying. I said, Abu,
don't cry.
Abu. Let me tell you something.
His
Abu
impression
cried
is
quite a
perfect.
bit.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't have cried.
Just real quick, he reminds me of the late 80s, early 90s Trump when he dresses up as Trump. That's the Trump he reminds me of. You know what I mean?
Helping Kevin in the old...
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Barron too?
Uh-uh.
He's the spitting image of his father.
Really?
Young. And he's 6'6", 6'7".
Dang.
Kid is tall as shit, bro.
Huh. No, I didn't know that.
Crybaby Baghdadi, that's what we were all calling it. Look, I love everything about that speech. I love it. I love thinking about Trump in the Situation Room, surrounded by generals watching watching special forces, watching those cocksucking Navy SEALs.
You'll have to watch about the Navy SEAL part.
Those mother. If I was in there, I'd be like, get out of there, Abu, run. No, I love thinking about Trump in the Situation Room, watching a live military operation. He's the only dude in the room that wasn't military. He must have been the only dude watching it that was like, oh! Like, you could tell he's never seen it before by the fucking speech. The speech sounded like a guy just trying to tell you some shit he saw. A lot of guys would knock on the front door, not these guys, not our guys. Not our guys. Our guys went through the wall. They blew up his wall. And they used dogs. Beautiful dogs.
He's not wrong,
Beautiful
though.
dogs
I mean,
is the funniest detail. It's true. They actually did use, it was the Army Rangers, and they used dogs because they were afraid al-Baghdadi was going to be wearing a suicide vest, so they killed him with dogs and a robot. And then made fun of him for crying. Like, dude, let that guy cry. That's the scariest death I've ever heard of. That dude was laying in his bed in the middle of the night, his wall exploded, fucking 10 dogs and a robot broke into Dude, 10 dogs wearing helmets and goggles broke into his house. The Paw Patrol.
Dude,
the
them
actual
dogs
Paw
are
Patrol.
mean.
The Paw Patrol. The actual Paw Patrol.
Oh, man.
Definitely will have to hit you up for pheasant season this year.
Definitely, dude.
Probably hit you up for other seasons. Do you duck hunt, Al?
No, I want to. I want to get
I've
into it a
got.
little bit.
I just bought a new blind. Well, not a new blind, but from Facebook Marketplace. It's new to me. Got a duck blind, like one of those hay bale kind of blinds.
Okay,
so I got one of those. Got a whole bunch of decoys. I'm ready to go when November opens up. Like November is quail, dove, rifle season for deer.
Yep.
November is the season when
I've only
everything
missed
opens
one
up.
weekend of deer hunting.
Oh yeah,
it was my birthday weekend. I was out of town, so.
You get anything so far?
Nope.
No,
I
nothing
passed
yet?
on a couple of does, but I haven't seen a buck that's.
I tried to
been
get
in range yet.
Like if I'm getting doe hunt, I try to do it as early as possible before the rut or any, because I don't like I don't know why we have a deer season that's antlerless.
So we don't anymore.
We don't anymore?
Well, we do have a holiday doe season still.
Okay.
But as far as tags go,
gotcha.
They got new rules on your tags.
It's buck and doe now, isn't
it's
it?
one license.
Yeah. Okay.
One archery tag for the whole season bag
limit.
limit.
I didn't know that.
One muzzleloader tag or one rifle tag. You don't have to buy a buck or antlered and antlers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And
that's
then
new.
the youth one, I only know this because I dealt with my nephew. He bought the super youth thing and it covers all of it. I mean, everything but his federal stamps and like his hit permits, just the randoms.
I need to get my stepkid probably a license. He's only 7 right now, so I don't think they need a license until.
No, they don't even need to have like hunter safety course yet.
I'd like to just get him through it. Yeah,
it's good to send them through it. If anything, they learn the safety, learn the gun safety.
It's
all about gun safety.
He's shot the 22 already, and I let him shoot the 20 gauge. For a 7-year-old and a 20 gauge, dude, that thing kicked on him, and he was like, "Here you go. I don't want it anymore."
My 10-year-old nephew, he shot the 308 today, so he jumped into that 30 cal range.
Damn.
Woo! He didn't want to shoot the 30-06.
That can be a bruiser in the shoulder.
Yeah, we had a 30-06 there too, and he didn't want no part of that.
I got a 30-30 lever. I got a 30-06 bolt action. Got a just right carbine 9mm. That thing is fucking badass.
Yeah.
16 rounds in the clip. Is it the magazine or clip? It's.
I mean,
magazines are generally for
a gun guy is gonna be like, it's a magazine. I'm not one of those guys.
Okay, well, I know you were military.
I know it holds the bullets.
Right.
I'm not a gun guy. I'm
I'm
a fishing and hunting guy. And
I looked up my rifle, the JRC. It's considered a handgun.
Really?
But it's definitely a rifle. It looks like a rifle. It's just weird. I guess it's because of the magazine or cartridge it goes in. I guess it is a magazine. Magazine it can be used for a 9mm handgun as well. Like you could fit it in a 9mm handgun. So I was like, that's just weird that it's considered a handgun. But all right, Trey, you did the Heley cast. You got through it.
It's been fun.
Sorry I didn't have beer or anything else. I'm
organic anyways.
I'm a little everywhere. I got home late, as you could see.
Yeah.
Where can we find you? Obviously YouTube with the 5 million views.
Yeah.
We should keep the views going, guys. I keep watching it sometimes. It's fucking badass, dude. It's just cool that I know you, and that is a significant thing for not just you, but also your whole tribe.
Yeah.
And possibly not even just your tribe, but other tribes saw it too and invited, Marines to dance as well.
All over the place.
Because we also saw that video from 2024, 2 months ago. Another Marine was dancing with another tribe. So like, it's I don't know if you started it, but
I think mine just went viral because of the little incident that happened and
that. But you also have to think back in 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. That's really when technology really kind of social media started really on the uptrend, like Twitter, everything
really coming out.
Exactly.
Twitter was really catching on fire.
So that's that probably helped you as well with the.
I'm sure if I would have, had some guidance from maybe some parents or really anyone.
You could have been on Ellen DeGeneres.
I was more dude. I had heard that one time.
Really?
Like, yep. And like had someone mention it, through message to me.
I don't know if you want that kind of credit anymore nowadays.
Not no more. But
back in the day, it would have been cool to be on Ellen.
I think I probably could have done something, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I'm in my own little.
I'm glad I'm the first one to actually sit down.
My hunting and fishing world, and every other article, they're just blowing out their ass. Right. They ain't talked to me.
Actually, you got the first person.
They haven't asked me about anything, but it's cool. They threw my name out.
No one that wrote the article has ever tried to contact you or anything.
Nope.
See, I figured with a podcast, I could sit down and do a long type of interview with you and just kind of enjoy. Yeah. We go off subjects here and there, talking military, hunting.
I'm a working dude who hunts and fishes.
But that's awesome, dude.
It. I like to cook.
So usually I do ask my guest, where can we find you, social media and everything, but because you are a hunting, fishing, good boy.
I do have a Facebook, just Trey Kent Facebook.
I don't know if you want any followers or anything.
I do have an Instagram, but it might get a picture of my dog or a deer steak I cooked.
Who cares? That's always cool. It's like a Joe Rogan kind of Instagram.
There's not a whole lot on there.
I need to get back on Instagram. I haven't been on Instagram
stuff nowadays. It's my nieces and nephews fishing or hunting.
You gonna have any kids soon?
If it happens, if I'm blessed one day that
I got myself a kid.
I've about adopted my nephew. He's 4. The other kids, my sisters, they've got a dad in me there, but
I've got a stepson that's 7 years old that I told you about, and then I have is he 8 months now? 8 month my own blood child.
Well,
so
congratulations, man.
It's big.
Yeah.
His name is Baker Douglas James.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It just sounds like a good football name or sport name, athletic name.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I've got a ton of nephews and nieces that have all came. I've had 4 in the last 2 years. So, yeah. I'm pretty blessed with that, but none of my own. Or not yet.
My stepbrother is kind of like you. Like he's married and they're not in the rush having kids, and they even said they don't know if they're going to have kids. They're just like they're enjoying life, and if it happens, it happens, I guess. But also they're more comfortable with being the cool aunt and uncle.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like I'm a rough guy. It's hard to deal with a stick in the mud, if you call it. So
surprisingly, someone's dealing with my stick in the mud. So, guys, go follow him. Go like his Instagram, social media, all that kind of stuff. Until next time, I will see you guys. Trey, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, peace, guys. Love you.
Right on.
Hello, Mark Trotter. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the Heley cast. What's up, Kelly Freeman?
What's going on, man? How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hello, Marty.
Oh, hey, buddy.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Next, how are you doing? What's your real name? What's your government name? That is my first question. I'm just going to go right off the bat and go. JJ Wood.
What's up? Long-time listener, first-time guest. Really excited to be here. You all have headphones now? You get
I got
Heley, what year were you born? 97? 96?
95.
See, all right. Technically, you're a 90s baby, but you missed half of it.